You ever walk into a party and just feel weird, like something is off, but you cannot point at what it is? 9 times out of 10, it is not the food or the music, it is the vendor layout, because humans are basically Roombas bumping into furniture without realizing it. Picture the bar stuck in the back corner like it did something wrong in a past life. Now everyone is shuffling across the whole room just to get a lemonade, and suddenly, your cozy little event feels like a marathon with snacks. Here is the secret nobody puts on a flyer: guest experience is not about how pretty each vendor booth looks, it is about how people move between them. Vendors are basically furniture with feelings, and if you place them wrong, the whole room gets awkward fast. Think about it like Thanksgiving dinner. If the mashed potatoes are on one end of the table and the gravy is way at the other end, chaos erupts immediately. Event layouts work the same way. The goal is to keep the good stuff close enough that people do not need a travel visa to get a snack. There is actual thinking behind this. Planners study something called flow, which is just a fancy word for how bodies naturally move through a space. Humans tend to turn right when they enter a room, so smart vendors fight for that right side like it is the last seat on a crowded bus. Now let us talk about bottlenecks, because nothing kills a vibe faster than 40 people jammed shoulder to shoulder near one popcorn machine. If your walkway is the width of a hallway in a 1970s apartment, you are basically building a guest traffic jam on purpose. A good layout spreads out the popular vendors instead of clumping them together like magnets. This way, the crowd naturally spreads too, instead of forming one sad clump near the taco stand while the rest of the event looks like a ghost town. Lighting plays a sneaky role here as well, since people are drawn to bright, inviting spaces the same way moths are drawn to a porch light. If your quietest vendor is stuck in a dim corner, guests will avoid it completely, not because the product is bad, but because humans avoid anything that looks like the setting of a horror movie. Let us bust a common myth right now: bigger booths do not automatically mean better sales. Sometimes, a smaller vendor placed near the entrance outsells a giant setup buried near the bathrooms, because location beats size almost every single time. Community Events actually studied this back in 2019, noticing the guests spent 40% more time exploring when vendors were arranged in a loop instead of a straight line. A loop keeps people curious, kind of like a maze, except nobody gets lost and everybody gets a churro. Another sneaky trick is grouping vendors by sensory experience instead of category. Put a coffee stand near a bakery and you get one delicious wave of smell pulling guests in like a cartoon character floating toward a pie on a windowsill. Sound matters too, because if your live band is right next to the quiet henna artist, nobody can hear themselves think, let alone relax. Spacing sound-based activities away from calm ones keeps the whole event from turning into an accidental battle of the bands. People often think layout is just about looking nice for photos, but really it is about guiding behavior without anyone noticing they are being guided. It is basically stage magic, except instead of a rabbit in a hat, you get happy guests wandering exactly where you want them to go. The biggest lesson here is that great events are not lucky. They are planned with intention, using space the same way a good story uses pacing. When you respect how people naturally move, eat, and linger, the whole event feels effortless instead of chaotic. So next time you are setting up an event and wondering why guests seem confused or bored, check your layout before you blame the weather or the playlist. If you want help figuring out the right vendors and the smartest way to lay them all out, you want to learn more about our company, check out our links in the description.